Talk Show. I am Kyle Joseph, your host, and on my right hand side, let me kick this thing off. We have
That's starting to be not funny. It's starting to be not
then we have
funny.
our special guest, Cindy Emile.
I just forgot her name.
And then you all know Mark Ned, he swapped seats today, right?
Hey.
Mark had a round
Good night.
of applause. And then back from Barbados, we have Eva Dell.
I wish I was now back from Barbados. Good night, Facebook. Good night, YouTube. Welcome to the Real Talk Show, guys. And we are live at number 12 Anna Street, Woodbrook. Yes, I was not here for the last show, guys. Fortunately, it was Mark's birthday. And I surprised him with a little trip to Barbados. And he surprised me, too. We got engaged. I know everybody told you all before I could, but that's just the way life is, right? So good night, everyone. Welcome back to the show. We have a really awesome show for you tonight. We are talking about submission. Now, we already had some comments going. I have to try to find those comments. We already had some comments going. Now, ladies, y'all could learn a lot from the show. Maybe we could learn something from y'all from the show. Yeah, right? But we want to hear what y'all think about submission, right? Is it hard? Do you feel like you submit? Do you feel like you need to submit more? We just want to hear what y'all think. Do y'all think submission is necessary? Do you think you should be submitting to a man? We want to hear what you ladies think, all right? And we want to focus. Well, it's mainly for husbands and wives, I guess you could say. I mean, you can submit to other people as well, but it's mainly for. This is a good show for me, as you know. I go down that road now, right? All right. So, guys, of course, the giveaways. I almost forget to tell you all about the giveaways because I'm ready to learn about submission. We have a Starbucks voucher here for you. We also have a memory card sponsored by Mega Mac Computer Services. And we have a Movie Town voucher, a 3D Movie Town voucher, all right? So all you have to do is comment to win one of these awesome prizes. And we want to hear what you all think about submission, all right? So comment, ask a question. Let me hear your opinion, whatever it is. Just leave a comment, all right? And you could be one of the special people that win one of these prizes, all right? So we're going to get things started. Kyle, take it away.
Hold on, Eva. Could you go to the comment section and read some of the comments
All
that's
right,
happening
Kyle wants some of the
online?
comments.
I want you some interesting
Just
stuff
sorry,
that we had
I'm
on the
gonna
post
make
that
sure.
a lot of women came out and explained that some of them don't want to get married ever. So could we some of the comments? This is interesting to know that, you know.
That's not, I have to go
What some of these young ladies
to
think
the
about
page itself. Hold on, Kyle.
Yeah, no problem. You okay, Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
you look like a different man.
Oh, and
You
what
look like an
way?
engaged man.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm engaged. I'm engaging in conversation here tonight. So it's good to engage with people you care about.
All
And,
right.
You know,
I think I find the comments, guys.
People you
Sorry
don't
for
know.
the delay.
Yeah, you good, Eva. You take it away.
It's loading. It's loading. It's taking a while to load, though.
this topic is one that is really that
Somebody,
woman really
somebody
passionate
asked to
about.
engage Miss Martin.
Wait.
What?
What?
I just see something
Who
say
said
who
that?
engaged Miss Martin.
Kyle, I'm not getting the comments, so maybe you could go on for now, and once I get them, I'll let you know.
All right,
'Cause I don't want
cool.
to
You
keep
know,
them waiting.
it's an interesting topic we have tonight. You have only two people right now on the panel who are actually married, and they are women. Interestingly, that you know that they maybe Cindy's here to share her lovely experiences. You all remember last time Cindy was on the show? You remember what show it was?
Yes, love languages.
Love languages,
Yeah.
and her husband was on the show last time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was very
It's
interesting.
very interesting. Very interesting.
And tonight is going to be an interesting topic because
Very
it's dealing with submission, and it's actually apparently a very touchy one, Mark. If you see how a lot of women would basically saying, nah, they didn't really sign up for that. You know what I mean?
It's unfortunate because I think what happened it's like which came first, the chicken or the egg kind of syndrome,
Yeah.
where a lot of women have encountered men that are lacking in many areas of their life, you know, and so they've had bad experiences, and they come to a point where let's go start, huh? The show now
I
start,
listening
right?
to you.
They had bad experiences with men, and so they developed this sort of almost like a defense mechanism so that they
Yeah.
never get themselves in a vulnerable position again. I'm not saying it is right,
True,
but
true.
it's what happens now. So moving forward now, they have this thinking about men, and because they had bad experiences. Because I believe if a woman really meets a real man of God who's submitted to God and hears from God and wants to do God's will, that their attitude hopefully would be different now, you know. If the man just asking you to do things that's good and godly and good for the home and good, why should it be hard to submit now? But sometimes, and no fault of the man, they go and end up with somebody who not submitted to God, and then they're trying to make it work, and so, you know, so it's which comes first, the chicken or the egg, you know what I mean? The woman can submit, or is it the man that's not a real man, you know what I'm saying?
True.
Yeah.
That's what it's called,
Which
chicken
came
and
first,
egg. Okay.
The chicken or the egg?
Okay. In this case, we know which one came first, but
There are some examples early in the Bible too, where men did not use their authority well, from the first man in the Bible.
True.
You know, but let's not go there yet. Let's talk about what is submission,
Yeah.
right? That's
How about
that's
the video first? We have Kilani Hunter hunting the streets.
I'll submit.
Yeah.
Go ahead, keep it.
We have Kilani Hunter hunting the streets, looking all over. Yeah. And he went apparently Queen's Park Savannah, and he found some people. So let me hear what is going on in
This would be
Trinidad and
interesting.
Tobago.
Can't wait to hear these
Because
people's
let me hear
views.
what is the actual view on submission. Take it away, DJ.
Come on, I guess I'm just a misfit, huh? Yeah. Should I come in right now? No? Should I come right now? Yeah. I listen.
So we with this lovely couple married a long time, 32
years.
32 years. Wow. Let me be real. So you tell me, do you think a woman, well, let's go and be interesting. Do you think a woman, a wife, should be submissive to her husband? I don't know. So you gotta tell me.
Well, as a man, in my view, as a man submits to the Lord, so a woman could submit to a man. If a man cannot submit to the Lord, then a woman cannot submit to a man. You know, deep. Yeah.
All right. What about you, ma'am? You tell me what you think.
Yeah, she should, because that's what makes the relationship important. Yes,
That's what makes it work, eh?
that's what makes it work. He's
Hey.
the king, I'm the queen.
Wow! Wow, king and queen here. 32 years, but hey, they know what they're talking about, like, be real.
Not 100%, because I mean, a woman should always be able to express how she feels. All right, and when it comes to certain decisions, I think it should be a mutual thing between a couple.
If I answer any other way,
Yeah, that's okay, that's okay. That won't be on camera.
no. But that's facts though. I believe that in any relationship is 50-50. Right, so you have to meet at some middle ground at some point in time, you know, and you know.
Work it out, talk it out. 50-50, hey, only don't get the maths wrong, you know. Figure that maths wrong, things might turn out bad, you know. Make sure you have your algebra on points, like be real.
Well, basically, I think it's supposed to be a half and half, a 50-50. You understand what I'm saying? Commitment and communication is key.
Because we the man. You understand? You know, we control things now, so they might be submissive. So whatever we say, they might go by what we say then.
I like this, brother, boy. All right, what you think, brother?
Yeah, a woman must be submissive.
You think things gonna work if she
Yeah, you have to do it gradually. You can't do it one time. Yeah, everything is stages.
lean into
You have to lean into it.
Gotta rush it because she might like
You
that.
have to know how to talk to the woman first. You have to go calm and talk the things then.
Fellas, you gotta be calm. You can't just rush in and rough you up and things.
go aggressive.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work, eh?
It won't work.
Wouldn't work, fellas.
She will storm out the
She
house.
would stop. You don't want the storm.
It's very hard to stand here.
While they going out, nice night, even tonight, you understand? And you say, honey, I really like what you're wearing, girl. Change that. I don't know. You tell me how you gonna feel about that, what you gonna do, I don't know.
Yikes.
Yikes! Woo!
All right, well, I would ask first and foremost what you don't like about it.
What you don't like about it? I like it.
All right, well, it depends on what's his answer. Then I would know, okay, well, should I change? Because if it's a little too revealing, you know, it might give off the wrong impression. Then I would say, all right, okay, I'll change, no problem. But if you have no reason,
And I do agree with you.
then, well, I win what I want to win.
What you feel it is? I pay for this, you feel it is free? It ain't easy. I don't know, bro. So as a man, is it easy to say that? How you say that? I don't know. What's the best approach? I don't know.
Now, well, as a man, you know, if you feel uncomfortable with what your spouse or your or your wife or your girlfriend is wearing, I mean, you have all right to say, hey babes, you know, I'm really feeling comfortable with what you're wearing. Let's try something else now.
What? That's man good, boy. Wait. And everybody gonna change their clothes now. Good. Babe, I don't really like it. I feel comfortable. I feel fellas gonna ride that down, like, be real. I feel like you have it.
My body is his body, not their body.
Explosion, you hear that one?
It's what she wearing too. You understand? If you don't like what she wearing, you understand? We saw her going out there and she pouring something out of timing, you understand?
Out of timing.
Say, babes, watch me, I don't like what you're wearing. So you know she know my taste, right? If I find it not appropriate, I will say change it nicely, right? I'll tell her next time.
He had to go home.
He had to go more than leave home yet.
No, he can't tell me what to wear and what not to wear. You see me?
Yeah.
Hi guys.
Let we be real.
Let me be real.
Let me be real. Point blank. Period.
Awesome stuff, you know. You hear some people say they even you can't even tell them what to wear. You know what I mean? So you hear what people thinking, right? Now it's interesting that the young lady said on the van that she said, yeah, you got to wear if it is he just want me to change for whatever.
If she don't agree, she means then, well, they have a problem.
So let me hear, wait to see, let's go to what is submission, seeing that, you know, people have their own opinions in this world about what their idea of submission is. So let me hear now, in the Bible context.
In the Bible context, submission is yielding oneself to the
authority?
No. Recognizing this is a different explanation. Recognizing who God made it to be, which is a woman. Right?
Okay.
Right? Understanding that God gave each party in a marriage a role.
Right.
You're going to annoy me.
You go ahead, young lady.
Right. Okay. Right?
Guys, get ready to cut.
Right. Marriage, right? Marriage is the institute that came from God, is the one that instituted marriage. And he did that. He said he played it. He was the one who determined the roles. He said that the man is the head. He's the head of the man. The man is submitted to him, God, and then the woman submitted to the man, right? So in the context of Christianity and a marriage and a woman submitting herself to her husband, it is understanding who she is, this earth suit that you were born a woman, and yielding yourself to God's authority and your husband, and submitting yourself. So you actually have to yield. So it doesn't mean, well, the Bible calls us the weaker vessel. I am sure that means physically, because most women are stronger in most other ways, like mentally, you know. Some stronger physically too, right? But, so submission doesn't mean that you give up all your rights as a woman or you give up your independence as a woman. It doesn't mean you give up your own thoughts as a woman. It means you yield yourself to the authority of your husband. Doesn't mean that you cannot have a voice, you cannot have an opinion that's different. I think women have a misconception. They think that you can't even have a difference of opinion. That if your husband say yay, you say yay, even if you don't agree, and that's not the case. That's not what the Bible talks, what it says, you know, with submission. Submission, I think, more has to do with the spirit of a woman and how she operates with her husband also. A submissive being. And, I mean, we will read it in the Bible so that nobody could argue with us, but it's more talking about having that a quiet, gentle, peaceable spirit. Just being that is who God called women to be. When you tell women that, they fight it because they think when you say quiet, submissive, gentle, you're trying to say you want me to be weak now. But women do not understand the kind of strength they have over a man when they do submit themselves and when they operate in that function as a woman in that way. Quiet, peaceable spirit, you know, you're not brawly, you're not harassing the man. You're quiet, you're peaceable, you're kind, you have a gentle spirit. Your character is like that, right? why is this man what you want
Guys,
me
get
to
ready to cut.
I listening to you.
You watch him in a kind of funny way of saying something wrong?
No, I listening to you. Go ahead.
Okay, so that is my definition of submission.
Okay, that's your definition.
And
of
I
submission,
said
right?
what the misconceptions were in that as well.
Okay.
Where women think, yeah, you
When
can't
the
have
word
an opinion.
translated in the Bible, here the Bible says it's strong, right? To place or rank under, to subject,
Right.
mid to obey. I place under, subject to, I submit myself under into subjection. But here when the word breakdown, what it means, right? It means to arrange, the word is hypotasso or something, so it's pronounced it, right? The hypo part means under, and the tasso part means arrange. So how they explain it, they have is that under God's arrangement, submitting to the Lord. So it means that you're actually aligning to how God put things into place, right?
Mhm.
So the Bible says that, I guess, you're submitting yourself under to your husband's authority. Now that might seem like something weird, but it's just how God designed it, right? That your
It's his
husband
plan.
is the head of the home.
Yeah.
Like I actually, I saw a lady online said something. I just find it was mind blowing, right? That she said that, why would I bow to a man when all men came
out from a woman.
from a
right?
woman, right? But I just find it interesting, Mark, that when you actually read the Bible account, right, that when God created the whole of everything, it means the universe, he created the stars, he created everything, even the animals. Like go to the animals, right? Because they have male and female and animals, right?
True.
He created them from whether it be the dust, every seas, whatever, right? Because all live creatures, right? But when he created man from the dirty blue spirit in him. But then God put man to sleep and he created a woman out of the man. He didn't create the woman from the dirt and everything else again, right?
Yeah.
So it means that woman came from man. And even when obviously it was the first marriage he put together, right? He was explaining that that the man has the head. And there's some things, I'll be honest, I think there's some things hard for some people to actually accept. Even as a man, I just be mind blown that Adam named his wife. Right. You know, man, he had the kind of authority over the earth and even in like his own dominion, and you'd realize how much he messed up, right? So sometimes like I hear, this is like going straightly off course, right? But like you'd hear like the lady said that, or some of them say that marriage is a 50-50 thing, right? Mm-hmm. And it might seem logically like correct, where I say there's a 50-50 thing and it seems like a good, both of you had to give our 100%. Some people, this is 100%, 100%. I mean, the efforts towards it, right? But really and truly, when I think about it, the Bible says in Ephesians, right? I mean, this outside of the context of submission, right? Well, I mean, it's the way it says for the man part. Mm-hmm. It says a man must love his wife like Christ loved the church and gave himself. It seems like man have this kind of responsibility, Mark. Yeah. Where you could be doing whatever you want, but we have like this rule that is like given from to demonstrate God's love, which we understand is like so beyond, right? That imagine that we have this rule that given to us to demonstrate the kingdom of heaven. It means that we have a kind of responsibility that people can live how they want to do, like in a marriage, right? You know, the wife behaving a certain how you behave or whatever, how in marriage, like say things bad. In God's eyes, it seems like as much as you want to tap a blame game, the man have a higher responsibility to God to work things out. Yeah. Because he's the head at the end of the day. So it's not necessary. So I mean, sometimes people look at that just as a Christian thing, but it's not necessarily a Christian thing. All marriages, how God designed it, is that the husband's supposed to be the head. And a matter of fact, God say all marriage is honorable in his eyes. So it means that wherever back in he honoring it in the context that the man is the head, the woman, and there's a rule, a purpose, and God wants to lead. And if there's certain things going wrong in the marriage, God would see throughout the Bible, Abraham and different people, God would appear to the husband, right? Yeah. Now, outside of that now, to make it so, I'm making it the reason why I say all that, right? It's a yes, husband have their part to play in all these things, right? But you'd read now, I don't know if there's a verse in the Bible where it says now, where even as a woman and you have an unbelieving husband, they should submit to him in certain things. It means that I know we talk, but sometimes people let's talk about like
Let me read it, so that
read it in the Bible, right? Because sometimes people you want to read it, right?
Yeah. So it says that wives in the same way be submissive to your husbands, so that if any of them do not believe the word, they may be won over without words, but by the behavior of their wives. When they see the purity and reverence of your lives, your beauty should not come from the outward adornment, such as braided hair, wearing gold, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the part you were talking about, that you win your husband by your reverence, your purity, not by words, which is what women try to do to their unsaved husband. Boy, you need to come to church, you need to change your life, you need to stop drinking. And what the Bible is actually saying, hush your mouth and live right. Yeah. And perhaps by the way you live and how you treat him, even with reverence, even though the man is an unbeliever. Now, let me just make sure and clarify. I'm not saying submit to his unbelieving lifestyle.
Right.
Where if he say, girl, come on, go in the bar with me and take a drink now.
Mhm.
You say, no, I can't do that. I can't make him go against God.
Right.
Right? Or you say, girl, you know, I could come up with
Like say
different
he's
things.
like maybe a different religion. He say, nah,
Right.
stop go to that church
Right.
to come and go
Right.
on.
Right.
That's not the Bible. And actually, when I read it, you realize in the Bible not even thinking so deep.
Right.
Because that's not everyday life of our marriage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That there's complication that's come with our marriage, with
Yeah.
decisions. That's a simple thing like, you know, what we doing today, you're hungry, any little things like that. And many
Yeah.
times people, they have attitudes, they have different
Yeah.
things that come up because, and the Bible actually saying as a woman, you actually win over the man by just showing him a different type of beauty, a beauty that is from inward.
inside.
You know that because really and truly as a reader on it showing that's the kind of character
Right,
that
yeah.
it shows that what a believer looks like.
Let me read it one time, because
Yeah.
we're going to get it eventually. So,
Yeah.
the beauty of a woman should not be in her adornment, such as braided hair, wearing gold, jewelry, fine clothes. Instead, it should be that of the inner self, an unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which
Mhm.
is of great worth in God. For this is the way the holy women of past, who put their hope in God, used to make themselves beautiful.
Mhm.
They would submit to their own husbands, like Sarah, who obeyed Abraham and called him master.
Wow.
So it getting serious.
Anyway, you'll ever call your husband's master anyhow.
Why would I? Why would I? My husband would not want me to call
I
him
just
master.
joking with you. it's
He
just a
want me
joke.
to. He want me to submit.
Okay.
Yeah, he would know he's master by how I treat him. I don't have to say master.
Anyhow,
I would just, as you read it, I would just say for those listening that it's not the ideal thing to look at an unsaved person if you are a Christian and say, I want to make you my husband. That
No, but this is actually
But-
talking about the context of if the woman,
Well,
she, you know, like
she was married before and
married
gave her life to the
before,
Lord,
and
yeah.
she become now a believer,
Okay.
and the man is not. You know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
not to say you're going to look for an unbeliever to put yourself in trouble and
Because-
then try to win him.
because the
Actually,
Bible
no.
definition when I'm looking for a spouse is don't be unequally yoked.
Yeah.
I've met lately a lot of Christian people who would have fully married people who are not.
Unbelievers,
Yeah,
right.
but that actually is a beautiful thing, but it's a lot of work, I would say.
Yes.
You know, you want your husband to be led of God and to
Yeah.
go in a certain direction, but God can't really go that direction. He had to use you to try and get the man
To
to
that
submit
place. Yeah.
to him. I would
Yeah.
say the marriage would be so much better and so much years could be used in a better way if the man is already submitted to
submitted
God.
to
You have a
God.
better quality
Yeah.
of your marriage.
Alright, let me hear with it, online there, Eva. You take it away.
Right, let's do this thing. So let's start off by saying good night to a few of you lovely people. I have here Katie, Michael, Mongol saying thanks guys for all of the congratulations. Thank you very much from both Mark and I. Let me let me get into some comments. Let me say good night to Antonella Balchan Esposito. She says, who engaged Miss Martin? Hopefully soon somebody will be engaged to Miss Martin. This person have to know Crystal to say that, right? Because Crystal not even on the show. Anyway, let me get into the comments. We have Eniala Mandela State. She said submission is a beautiful thing. If women would seek the Lord when choosing a spouse, it would be easier to submit. Submission doesn't mean that a lady is a doormat or that we aren't equal. Katie says you can't expect someone to submit to you if you're not submitting to God. Some men use the scripture as a control strategy, and some men are clueless what it means to be a man. You can't lead someone effectively if you lack leadership skills. Wow. Eniala says sub under purpose. So submission is to get under the mission of the man. Get under the mission of the man that he has for his household or family. All right. Some people didn't research here, man. I must admit that that submission had to be learned. What I mean to say that sometimes the flesh tries to rise up is true. You know, to show them who is boss, huh? Let me see. Let me try to get some more comments in. Kerwin says a great example of divine authority. Husband and wife is Isaac, Rebecca, his wife Esau, and Jacob. God said that Esau would serve Jacob, but Isaac loved Esau. So when his wife Rebecca saw he was in rebellion to God, she outsmarted him. Yet she knew only Isaac's authority as a husband could release the blessing on Jacob. Let me see. Katie, persons of Muslim faith has different concepts. Oh, I think someone was saying that something was under the Muslim beliefs. Aniala says the man was called to love their wives as Christ loves the church. That is a huge responsibility. It's true. Because I actually saw some comments, the comments that you wanted me to get to. One person actually commented and said, we are being called to submit as women. That's what I'm saying, we. But do men love wives as Christ loves the church? Like this basically saying is are men doing their part then? Let me actually get some of those comments in really quickly. Arlene says, we seem to all have a twisted view of submission. I would encourage both men and women to read Proverbs on a virtuous woman. Philippa says, I could have misunderstood Paul in his New Testament writings, but as far as submission to husbands, wives can only be certain that their husbands are divinely directed if they themselves have submitted to and accepted Christ in their lives. If this is not so, then fighting off the snares of the evil one is insurmountable, especially for the wife and their children. Just because a husband attends church does not mean he follows biblical principles and has truly accepted Christ in his heart. Wait, or they're really going into it on this topic. I like it. Let me see. I saw one person, this was a serious comment. I think Kyle actually made mention of it just now. Debbie Marquis, woman whom all creation comes from, must bow to man who don't even know his place, stoops. Debbie serious. Debbie know about that submission life. Let me see. Yes, he is God and know best. Many male men need to stop. Okay, this one is not the best one to read. I just reached the end. Let me see. And then everybody starts to talk about money and submitting paychecks. So it have a whole lot of things. Yeah, submitting paychecks. One woman online actually said she would submit her paycheck to him if he submit his to her. Is they serious? But let me get into some more of the live comments because I want to do my giveaway. Okay, she's a friend. Let's say goodnight to Cynthia Seeley. Kevin says, a love that is forced is a crime. Love is never by compulsion, but love compels us to submit to each other. Understanding divine rules and purpose is key. Let's see. Let me get one more comment in here. Aniala says, the man was called to love their wives as Christ loves the church. That is a huge responsibility. Indeed it is. So let me go ahead and do my first giveaway. I really have no choice. Aniala, Gail, you are the winner of our first voucher. Congratulations to you. You are the winner of our Starbucks voucher. Big up to Aniala and all those awesome comments she had. So guys, you all saw how easy that was, right? All you have to do to win is comment, all right? And like I said, we have two more giveaways. We have a Movie Town voucher and we also have memory card, all right? So all you have to do is continue commenting to win one of these prizes. And for anyone who just tuned in, I'm not sure what we're talking about submission tonight, all right? We're gonna go back to Kyle. We want to hear what you all think. Make sure and stay tuned, hear what Kyle's saying, answer Kyle, put Kyle in his place if you need to, all right? Because Kyle could be out of time.
I will do it. I will do it. It's good.
Next have our back, y'all. Next have our back, all right? So we're going back to Kyle now.
I got it.
These submissive women on these shows. But anyhow, I would just like to ask, I don't know who's the person who asks, right? Where they say women they equal to a man. I would like to know in what context they actually saying that, like women equal to men. I like to know what they mean by that, because at the end of the day, men have to give an account for their marriage in a different way that a woman actually don't have to, right?
Yeah.
So I actually want to know what it is they actually say when they equal. They talk more like, well, we both breathe the same air, we actually do the same things. Like, I want to know actually maybe because marriage have a spiritual aspect of it that we as individuals have to give an account to, right? But we're here with Cindy Emile, right? And she is here going to give us some nice experiences and talk, because as great as we meet this mighty man of God who we love the Lord and he's a great guy, like Onika says, she think it'll be easy. But the reality is this, right? The Bible says that we supposed to be submitted to the Lord. And if you look in all of our life, at times, there are the times where we didn't trust God, where God tell us to do this, and we was, is it God? And we want, and there are times in our own life where we might in our own life maybe didn't submit to God in the best way. So if far less, and we believe God loves us unconditionally, right? So far less when you're marrying a man with flesh and you're waking up to problems with, and you start to know him in a different way. Where, you know, everybody know your husband maybe a this kind person, but you know him a little kind in the beginning, but now you place problems on him now.
Sorry.
Eh?
You place problems.
What I mean is you see him in a certain light. It means that you see him like, I know him real good, or I don't know this man I know. But really and truly, it's just relationship. People they have different opinions, they have different, you know, they see eye to eye on different ways, right? And hence reason sometimes people stop issues about somebody and they relate to them in that dimension, right? But Cindy, you know, how long are you married? No, I don't know.
14 years.
And how long you been together with your husband? I mean, you're married for 14, but how long you been together in total?
Courted for 7 years.
7?
Yes.
So you're 21 now?
20,
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah?
Yes.
And
I was a young bride too. I married at the age of 23.
23?
Right. I'm about telling you that.
Wow.
I was trying to remember the age then that she got married. Yeah. Young.
So, yeah.
So people could figure out your age. You don't have a problem with that?
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
No.
That's
so,
good.
No.
Before you got married, right? You were a believer. So it's not like this, not something strange to you, but in the area of submission, what was your thoughts? Did you have any kind of like maybe consideration to that? When I get married to this man, I had to be like submitted under his will and whatever to see. What was your thinking before you were married?
Well, I was a believer, yes, and I was also courting the pastor's son. So there was, it was a lot being young and, you know, being looked at as a very young person courting an older guy. It was a bit hard because at that age we were courting 7 years before I got married, 23. So I was 18, 19, 20, you know, that phase where you're still learning about yourself.
I did maths right now. 23 minus 7.
Yeah.
Is
16. Yeah.
You was 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he took her to her graduation.
Yeah.
Papa.
Right? So you're still learning yourself more.
Yeah, well, that was a different time too.
Yeah, different times to learn yourself. Yeah, it's true.
And it was a pastor's son, so
Yeah.
he's an upstanding individual in the community.
Right. Okay.
He was far from upstanding.
Very much so.
It's her brother, yeah?
I didn't want to make him out, but
Oh,
yes. Yes. So courting was a bit of a challenge. I remember submission at that time to me was hard. Simple things. I saw a lot of people talk about changing clothes. That was a battle, like, you know, they 50-50, and if you could convince me, then I will change it. That time, yes, I thought like that, where you have to tell me, well, why I have to change my clothes, what's wrong with it at that time.
Was it a hard thing?
It was a hard thing because you just buy an outfit, you just buy a thing, you're going out and you don't dress, you're going in the car and then, what are you wearing? Nah, go back and change that. Dry like that. There was no, how the guy said, well, I too like this outfit. It wasn't like that. Not my husband. So it was like, nah.
With a boyfriend at the time? But
boyfriend at that time. Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, we would have the arguments. At the end of the day, I had to go back and change and come back.
Because he wasn't going nowhere.
He wasn't going nowhere.
Right.
Right? So, yes, it was a challenge, ladies. And that was during courtship. And as I said, we courted for 7 years. During that 7-year period, of course, it wasn't as bad then. You know, I got accustomed. So I knew what not to wear, what not to, you know, press his buttons, that kind of thing, you know. So it became a little easier coming down to getting married. But when I get married, it's a whole different ballgame. So when you went down on your knees and you proposed, woman, you have the ultimate last say to say yes, because you are actually putting this man who is going to be your husband as the authority over you, and you have to be able to submit to this person. So, if you can't do it, I don't know, tell you, yeah. So, yeah. But submission was not a nice and easy thing for me younger when we were courting, and when we got married, yes, we had a couple butt heads.
Well, that's a big head to butt.
A big head to butt. I remember.
You always win, eh? No contest there. You had to submit.
Yeah, I remember once walking off on him, and he calling me, and I just.
When I married?
walking,
It's almost okay.
Yeah. You remember? Yeah. He
was in the crowd, by the way, right?
Yeah,
But
he's in the crowd. He's talking amongst people we know. And we had a little spat, and I just turned around and kept walking, and he kept calling me, Cindy, Cindy, Cindy. And I kept walking and walking.
Wow.
And, wow, he was mad. But yes, that was not the right thing to do. But yes, I had that. We battled that out. We battled that out. Hung up on him many times. We did that. He hated that as well. I guess anybody would hate that. We have any arguments, and you can't tell me what to do, hang up. Call in, don't take a call, switch off phone, that kind of thing.
But
So,
Cindy, you're a rebel.
yeah, so
Wait, while you're married, take off your phone?
Cindy, I really look for you there.
yeah, we dealt with all of that.
Wow.
Because at the end of the day, my husband is a straight talker. I mean, he ain't good at mix matters and try to, he don't like this, he don't want this, that kind of thing. And I was trying to.
Can you not say that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I trying to negotiate, and I getting nowhere. And I realized that we were just going in circles, because we were actually having the same arguments over and over. For many years, in early part of our marriage, we were having the same exact argument over and over. It made absolutely no sense. So something had to happen.
Was it something petty in your eyes?
It was petty for me.
And not for him? You mean for you and not for him?
Now I could say it's petty, because back then it was things like clothes. For me, I will give you an example. I think Honika might remember this. He do not like short hair. And I remembered, we were married, and I went by the hairdresser, and I literally cut off my hair, all of it. It was really, really short, yeah. And when he picked me up, listen to me, I wanted to run back into the hairdresser and put on a wig. He was mad. He picked up the phone and he called his sister. You remember that? And he was...
Mother, go ahead.
Yeah, he was like, Cindy just went by the hairdresser and cut off all her hair. I mean, he made a big thing about it. For days, I had to hear about it. For days, weeks.
He wasn't necessarily right in doing that, and especially the way he did it.
That's why I said it was petty, right? But
I just asked as a woman, though,
it
in
was
making a decision like that.
Yeah,
it
was
to consult with them a little bit.
You had asked to cut your hair?
No, but it's almost so short, the man. And if it is your husband might like it, you don't think
But
you might
in
say...
her defense, women from time to time cut off all their hair. I've seen it.
Sure.
No, but I'm asking person, I know the person.
Can I ask a question? Cindy, does Chris consult with you when he's going to do certain things? Like, with his, like, if he...
His bald head, so I don't
Okay, like so you prefer him with a beard or without a beard?
Without.
Right, but if you have a beard?
He has a beard. He says it's a project for 3 months, and then...
You fighting? Yeah.
Right? So...
But, yes.
But I ask you, though, honestly, as a decision like that, do you think something and maybe
You see what happened? I knew he would not have liked it, Kyle, right? But I did not expect him to react like that.
Oh, okay.
I thought it would have been, well, you just adjust it and my hair will grow back. So what's the big thing? But when I saw that, I said, you swear I went inside here and commit some sort of sin. I was like, he was very much furious.
Wow.
But now it's
you could cut it.
No,
I ain't
top
sure about that
point.
one,
Yeah, an inch or two, but yeah, top point. But yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, back then those things was big issues.
So I just asking, where you learn from the whole experience? I just asking if there's something else learned. I don't know, right? I don't know as a, in a relationship there is something,
Particularly with the
Like,
hair,
yeah, no, that's the whole situation. Like,
this situation.
Yeah.
Well, what was learned is I didn't expect. For me, what I think was petty to him is not. I learned that.
Right.
To me, what I thought was putting on something that is not revealing, but yet he doesn't like it. Why make a fuss? But if we say to change it, it's an argument. So we even get late. If we have to go somewhere, we are late. Because now it's back and forth. Justified. It's like,
Mark here, but go ahead.
it's like you become a lawyer instantly in a marriage. You have to have your defense, your try to persuade. It's yeah.
No, because they're saying things change, so I want to ask, what if it's how things change? Because I don't think I don't think he's necessarily all of us and do like short hair, and I don't think like short hair. I mean, and
yeah.
So what changed? What had to change?
For him or for me? Like
for you.
For
I'm
me.
not saying for him.
Well, for me, he still don't like short hair, but I would not. I know if I cut off all my hair, I will actually be doing it with malicious intent, if you understand. So I would not do that. So for me, I'll just leave it we compromise to a certain length and we leave it like that.
Okay.
But I realize now, like going through years of marriage, that to submit is not just submit because he said so, but sometimes it's also why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? You have to I looked at me like, okay, you told me not to do it, but I just do it because might be out of a duty. But then through years of marriage, I realized that it can't be like this. This is not how God really intended submission to be.
So it can't be me
just
following rules.
It can't just me coming like, oh, wait, taking notes, you don't want this, this, that, get up this time, make up the bed, do. It can't be like that. It have to be me submitting to my husband because I love him. I want to please him to a point, as a wife, you want to please your husband and your husband want to please his wife as well. It can't just be a battle, and it can't be when, if I feel like submitting today and I feel like not submitting today. It can't be like that. So I came to that realization that submission is really, at the end of the day, as Inyala said, it's a beautiful thing. Now, it's not a big thing for me and Chris. Now, because of how I submit to a point, he realized that he doesn't have to fight me down a lot on things. We don't have those issues now. He doesn't like something I wear in. Okay, I change it and I move on. There's no argument, just move on. It's too petty. A marriage is not based on, what I mean? We have bigger things as two persons who got married, and we have a bigger purpose than just to fight amongst who don't like what don't like. That kind of thing. It's petty to me. But now, it's so funny. We was in a retreat recently with work, and they were talking about the stages of team building, and you have the storming stage, the norming stage, and the performance stage for the people who know what I'm talking about. And
true.
I kind of related back to marriage and when they now get married. And sometimes at that point when they now get married, you have that phase where you call the storming phase, where you're trying to adjust to this one, you're trying to adjust to living together with another person. Simple thing as who won the toothpaste, what kind of No, we have that battle as well. I like a certain brand, he like a certain brand. Exactly, we just buy whatever we want,
We got a people the soap that he's buying. It's just coincidence. The name is Cindy.
Yes.
That's very interesting.
But when they now get married, they have that storming stage. You have that where you're trying to figure out how to fit, and then as, time goes by, when you come normal and you come to a point where you trust and you have faith and you believe and you're going together hand in hand with one vision as a married couple, and God is always the center and forefront of your marriage, you become now the performance stage, you know, the performing part where these things are no longer, it's behind us. We can now do something that is greater. So now 14 years of marriage, and I feel like we just got married because it's actually, and I would say this to my husband, it's actually a beautiful point where we are right now in our marriage. Yeah.
Okay, okay, awesome stuff, you know, because I just have a question. I mean, just to add on to maybe that's like what the Bible say about like when you get married, right? Bible says that your body no longer belongs to you, like belongs to the husband. And is that sometimes as a wife a hard thing to digest? That when you're loving somebody, the Bible actually put this way that you're loving yourself.
Yeah.
You understand? So where it is to say, so I mean, Onika asked this question about the beard, the mustache, right? And I mean, there's a revelation that both people have to come to terms with, because I mean, when it comes to attraction and different things, right? It's really the other. I mean, because I find it a bit strange how, I'll just say this out the go, right? I think Satan, there's a voice of Satan that's against marriage. What I mean by this, right? It means that like you trying to get things to work, and there's this opinion, nah, don't do this, and no, in a marriage, there are things people do. If it's not evil, they kind of like the man having prison and beating you up. And there are things in a marriage where both people coming from and they're trying to get things to work, right? So sometimes people, like they're saying, like something when you dress somebody, be like, yeah, man, can't tell me what to do. And that is you. You have a hard marriage if it is you choose that part, right? But for you, was it that easy? Is it that easy thing even up to this day to still realize, well, wait, not his body belongs to, you know, that really his body is my body, and vice versa, the opposite. So like somebody here, you realize, wait now, when I cut it, it's really his, I am doing something towards him, not necessarily only myself. So is that at times living out, is that easy thing?
It could be difficult, Carl, because personally I don't like long hair. So at this like this is me not being me, because if I was to really be me, I would cut it off. So it could be difficult, but I don't make that an issue. It's no longer an issue for me. So for his body being mine, yeah, I could say I don't like beard, but if he doesn't want
no difference, then?
Sometimes, well, he had the beard for,
The verse here in 1 Corinthians 4,
it says, glory.
No, it says the wife does not have authority over her own body, but yields it to her husband.
Yeah.
In the same way, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but yields it to the wife's husband. And in a case like that, should the husband cut off his beard?
Right now, he's not in submission. Yeah.
Yes,
because
it does go both ways.
Anybody ever shave up right now?
No, but it's interesting because
I was just going to say that I think, that's my opinion from reading the Bible and things. I think in some cases, the man should submit to certain things.
The Bible says to submit to one another.
One another, yes.
But and that's actually the context we're talking about, in that kind of way where, you know, it's both roles as well. Not as you as me, and but it's interesting that you're saying that, because when it talks about that, it's actually talking about with love. Like what I mean is that you're actually loving yourself, your own body.
Yes.
And just because many times people, I find it was interesting, right? I know Kerwin has always said this, but I find it interesting when I was looking for a picture to post for the ad, right? When I Google submission in the database, so because we get pictures from our archive with, you know, that's not Google, but any day, you know, it's the first thing that pop up, one of the only pictures that pop up, a dog lying down, so.
Nah.
So submission, I just find it interesting.
That's Kerwin's favorite illustration.
A dog lying down, like I know when they rub a dog belly and instead of lie down, that. Imagine that the more you show love and affection, and actually really from the Bible context, like even the unbelief, it realizes both ways, that the more you actually show love is the more people submit to each other, and the more they actually go along with their will, their desires, the things, and they realize that's how it's actually supposed to be done. Not obviously there's certain decisions in our marriage, like let's say we're living and like the woman really emotional. Like, as a man, you maybe had to make a stance and say, nah, this we think is best, and at the point in time somebody might understand why you make that decision, but in the long run I might see what was the benefit. So there were some decisions in our marriage where you had to be able to make it. You had to make it, because you realize in the Bible there's some men who didn't make it, and what was the outcome of it, right? Adam should have told Eve, woman,
you on your own.
You're on your own with that. Don't come and
be
be telling me you eat no fruit here, and you realize with Abraham, I'm just saying, nah, I'm gonna sleep with no other woman. So strain, and you realize they should have actually make some decisions, tough calls.
Yes.
That a man should have supposed to make.
Yes.
And it might be hard at the point in time, but the reality is, it doesn't have challenges. So
Yeah.
some decisions, if you believe it's from God as a man,
Right.
you
I
have to
was
be
just
able
going to
to-
say that,
yeah.
especially if you strongly believe as a man that
Mm.
you're being led by God.
Mhm.
You know, you can't let your wife sway you.
Yeah, because like with Abraham, I mean, I think he knew it was God talking to him about
Yeah.
with the child and everything,
Yeah.
but he giving it because also, or he had a little weakness where he wanted that child too, right? So
Yeah.
it was just a weird situation that happened,
Yeah.
but he should actually believe the Lord. So in a marriage, do you think as asking you all as women, right? Do you think? No, I'm not talking about yourself sometimes. Do you think sometimes women could want their own way at times in a marriage?
Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
Because the woman, although she's submitted under the husband, well, that's the, you know, God's
Mhm.
way, you still have your own individual thoughts, opinions, you still, you know, and sometimes you might feel very strongly about something. I'd give an example. You spoke about like where to live, and I remember years ago, very early in Kerwin and myself marriage, he wanted to buy a house for his mom, and he wanted to buy the one behind. We were renting at the time, but we were looking to buy two. And his mom bought a house, and when we were looking to buy, after renting, he wanted to buy the house right behind. And I didn't want that at all, right? And I don't think, I'm trying to remember if he didn't make it, although he might tell the story different, it wasn't like he was adamant or like, you know, he had make a decision. It's just that we were looking and he was like, Nick, look, this house right here, look how much land, mommy right here, whatever. Me being really petty at the
To
time.
him, it wasn't like maybe a big call, like it's
Yeah,
just
so
an
it
option.
wasn't, it's a good idea,
Yeah.
because right there, whatever. I was totally against it. And I was able to sway him otherwise at that point, right? And and I would say, yes, I should have, it was the better thing to do. It would have been great. It would have been ideal right now. If that was the situation, it would have been great. But I didn't see that then. He was seeing down the road. And so that was one of the first times I would say that I was able to sway my husband, and he should have stand his ground though, you know?
You see how go back and after being listening, I blame it. No, it's interesting because guys actually kind of call God out on us, that when things go wrong, you listen to the woman, but it's not, that wasn't what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
but
he should have stand his ground. But but I totally regret it now. And I think we spoke about this. I think it's one of the things that we wanted to mention. A lot of times, why women, I'm not saying I didn't trust Kerwin at that time, because I mean, from the time I met him, I could see that he was a man.
Together like much longer.
Long too, right?
Yeah.
I could see he was, he loved God, he was a businessman, successful. I could see that this is somebody that could lead my family down a right road. But with time in marriage, I was able to, after that too, and you know, I was like, you know what, his decisions, he's led by God. As I said, it was always the case, but you know, in the early stages, a woman are a little emotional and you might have your own opinions and you try to enforce it or whatever. But then as time went along, I realized that to come to trust him more and more then. I'm not saying I didn't trust him then. That was just an emotional decision based on what my preference, right? And now, and even short, you know, in our early marriage, it was at the point where, because of the decisions that he was making and I was seeing it was taking us from, you know, place to place, and I could say, you know what, I'll say fair now. I could submit now. I'm not saying only if your husband making, you know, that you do submit if he maybe now and again he might make a wrong, bad decision. But it's easier when the man is, it really is much easier when the man is submitted to God. And you have proof, not that you know, that this man is hearing from God. And the proof is the fruit of the decisions, right? So it's not just out of the air now. When you see the fruit of the decisions come in your life and you realize that, okay, this man, you know, listen, as a woman, if you get a man like that, you could relax. You could say, oh gosh, I have life made. Because basically, that's what God wants for the woman actually. For her to be being the weaker vessel and the one submitted, you know, you do your part as a woman, let your husband take care of you. All you don't want nothing better than that, trust me. You know? But women want, I don't know if they like, I don't know if it's authority or they want to be equal or, you know, whatever. And then I guess the bad experiences too. I think that kind of, but submission is a great thing. If you have a...
I have a question to ask in your opinion, right? You know, like parents, whether the Lord or not, right? They are gifted by God. With the comment now, they're gifted by God that even ungodly parents at times can make a decision that it is
To benefit
it's a gift.
you.
It's
Yes.
like
Yes.
actually a gift that so even in a
Yeah.
husband, whether be outside the demonic realm, what I mean by demonic realm, a man can have an issue like with gambling and different things,
Yeah.
and can have an influence that's satanic, where you know you're taking your finances and you're doing kind of madness. But you can know that off the bat, right? That this is stupid decisions the man might make, right? But even as do you take that time to husband have a gift where sometimes it's just it's not necessarily I try to pray and hear from the Lord, where they can have certain intuitions where the Lord talk to them naturally. That where God you hear from God and it's just like a gift they could go in a certain direction. At times they can make certain decisions. I ask him.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Because I find sometimes it's be strange that people just try to beat down. You have to hear from God. Where
Right.
sometimes certain decisions is not just necessarily come from prayer.
Yeah. I
understand?
don't, gosh, I'm not meaning like super
No, I'm not
spiritual
saying
like
you
that.
are,
Yeah.
That you don't realize sometimes it's just in the same
It's
way.
favor.
I think it's the opposite. I think not necessarily opposite, but it's the same way like you with a mother with a child.
Right.
Yeah.
The mother has a uniqueness with a child that comes
Yes.
as like a gift
Yeah.
from God where they that a little more caring. They could
Yeah.
sense
Yes.
certain things.
Yeah.
It's a little different, but
Yeah.
let me go to the comment section and hear it is going on there with Eva.
All right.
And online.
And online is true. We have a lot of comments here to read. I didn't want to forget. Cynthia Seeley says Cindy Jacob is watching. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm just letting you know. Chrissy Meal. He says if wives submit to their husband, there's nothing a man who loves God wouldn't do for his wife within reason. It's true. Oh, because you mean he said only if they submit. That was Chris, eh? What you submit to me? I honestly don't believe that's what he mean though. I don't believe that's what
But anyway, if
doesn't
God
mean-
love us that way, perhaps.
Sita Allen, I am saved born again by the blood of Christ, but my husband is not. We have a lot of disappointment because he don't understand the things I used to do. I do them no more. So even when I invite him to church, he don't like. So he became an atheist. I need prayers. Wow, that's a serious one. So we'll definitely remember you. And that name is Sita Allen, guys. So we'll definitely remember Sita. Sita, make sure and stay tuned, all right? Kerwin Narayan, he says, what about men who want all women to submit to them, not even their wife? I guess he means like just not like it's not just your wife, then you want all women submitting to
Actually,
you.
women are supposed to be respectful to all men. You know?
All men.
Yeah.
I think you talk about like there's some men who just had this concept of submission. They go into any place and woman
And
shut
they
them out, though,
demand.
They treat everybody like, hey, watch me, I see alpha
It
male
have
here.
women that is take that no.
I'm not going
No,
to
but
say
it's
this
not
day
necessarily
and
taking it,
in
but
this
some
day and
men might
age,
have
I
an
don't think
opinion that way, no?
Okay.
he'll be.
There are a
too
lot of
successful.
Christian men who have a warped thinking about submission.
Yes, they do. Yes.
From
they
the
do.
time you have to
Talk
tell your
about that
wife submit
too.
something wrong.
And they
Go ahead.
want to throw thing at their wife head and bring, like floor.
Antonella says submission is written in the Bible about wives should be well husbands should submit to. Brandon Smith, women are not equal, men are the head. Don't compare. Kerwin says sadly religion has used submission to disempower women when God's plan was oneness and experience in love. Submission is meant to be part of oneness between our husband and wife as they follow the Lord. Let me see. Brandon Smith says women have to be submissive to their husband only by the law of God, staying within the rules of God and not his entirely. I'm not sure I understand what this means. Let me see. Kevin commented on Cindy, but I think he was just commenting on what she was saying at that point in time. He says what Cindy is saying there can sound like religious obedience. My husband says he is the boss, so I obey him. After all, that is what God wants. This can destroy a marriage and is not love but slavery. That is really... Yeah, she did. So I think he commented before, but I just wanted to read it for everybody so they'll grasp everything, because I think it's a good comment. That is really not God's plan. Our relationship with Jesus is very similar to our husband and wife. With Christ, it looks like this. Jesus says this: He is my Lord. He died for me. He loves me unconditionally. I trust him to lead me to the promised land. So yes, Jesus. I don't have to obey him to be loved, but man, oh man, I want to obey him because his ways are the best. Submission is a response. Huh? Chris, we'll save this one for you. Don't worry. Submission is a response to the revelation of love. Chris is your sister. Say that. I just repeat what she said to her. Katie says people have misused the word, thereby resulting in the skepticism of men's intent. Anyone who abuses this privilege is also in violation to God. Let me see. I like this one from Dawn Francis. Here's my comment for the movie tongue voucher. The motive of submission, as Kerwin Narai just expounded, validates it and sets us free to do it. Why does a man submit to Christ? Love. Why should a woman submit to her husband? Love. Brandon Smith, people hide behind religious beliefs. Be yourself. Be yourself. Love the person you are with. God never intended for us to be unhappy with religious misunderstandings. Dawn Francis, submission ought to not be a chore, hard labor, contentious, but a natural outcome of mutual love and respect. So it's easy. Don't marry a man or woman who can't love you. Who can't love you. Love. Huh? Who can't love and you good to go. Oh, okay, all right. Oof. Wow, Ava. Ruel Josiah. So she's probably just going to read like 2 more comments and then we'll go back to Kyle. Well, of course, I'll announce my giveaway. Ruel Josiah. Of course, both men and women want their own way. We are different individuals. But when we have one mind, things work out for good. Let me get this last one in. Talita Grant. Submission goes both ways and it should come from a place of love and honor and not fear or mandated to. Once the family structure is done correct, God's way, then it should be easy for a woman to submit because she knows that her husband is being led by God and not just his own feelings or others' opinions. All right, so I can't help but Dawn Francis, you are the winner of a movie tongue voucher. I'm submitting to Dawn's request right now, so congratulations to you, Dawn. We still have another giveaway, guys. We have a memory card sponsored by none other than Mega Mark Computer Services. Anything you need computer service in wise, guys, you can give him a call. His number is 733-6157 or 330-8791. Just give him a call, guys. He does house calls. It's secure, reliable, and affordable. He does data recovery, hardware, software installation, anything that you could think of. Just give Mega Mark Computer Services a call, all right? And his number again is 733-6157 or 330-8791. So remember, we still have that giveaway sponsored by Mega Mark. So continue to get your comments in, and we will select that winner coming down closer to the end of the show. We're gonna go back to Kyle now.
Hey, what up, people? I think you want to read a comment.
Yes, I don't think I ever read this one. Colleen, the boss, George, said in order for a woman to submit to her husband, she must first submit to God daily in her singleness, and it will flow into her marriage. Being submissive to God is not easy always, not always the fun, but it's the foundation of true submission. So what she's saying basically is, which is true, some women never even submit to God, to his way for their life. God say don't commit fornication. God might say do, whatever God tell them to do personally, they can't do it. They can't submit to God. And then you go and get married. If you cannot submit to God, how you expect to submit to a man, especially a godly man? Because, he will come and say the same thing. God probably speaking to you that you're not willing to submit to.
Their attitudes,
I think as well, at least for a believer, even through the courtship, you will be able to tell based on how your boyfriend is relating to you. You would be able to tell if he is submitted to God, because I was listening to Cindy's, what she was talking about in getting married, and I was just thinking it's just sad that how women just look at the submission and it's just coming across like the man telling you what to do, and you always had to always be giving up and sacrificing and giving up even your own desires and things. And I don't know, I just look at submission as like, because I submitted to Jesus, and I mean, he's my head, and I have my own desires and things I want to do, talents, and to me, the Lord does actually bring it out and give me opportunities that I could be the best person that I could be. And I think as a husband, you should actually be making your wife the best version of herself. You should be a blessing to her, and bringing out the best in her. And I think anything a husband saying to a wife, if it's to adjust something or something instructive or even when he hear, she should never feel when, at least for me as a husband, if I talking to my wife, I don't want her to feel like I talking to her. I want her to know that even if I ask her to do something, that coming from a place of love, because everything that Jesus asks me to do, instructs me to do, it always have love in it somewhere. If it's not love for somebody, it's love for me, or it always have from a place of love. And I think as a husband, anytime you relating to your wife, she should always feel that love and not feel like, well, they tell me to do it, I have to do it, I do it, and
And then, like going back to the example with Cindy and Chris, okay, she cut her hair, you didn't like it. The right thing to do is not to keep badgering and badgering and badgering and badgering and
That's not
badgering.
going to go back to here, but good.
Yeah.
I know, that's what I'm saying now.
Yeah.
So that's not, I mean, if you were to look at God, that he doesn't do that to us, right? He might instruct you. It might not have been the best thing to do, but now as a man, what do? Continue to just be reminding her every day, I don't like it, I don't like it, that,
I
that's...
think Jesus said something about you remembers your sin no more, something like that.
And that's what the man loves.
Yeah.
Unconditional.
I can understand the first initial big tantrum and you share your opinions. That's like personally, I share where we had to share, and then we end it there. I don't want to be carrying it on over. Better last argument for 3 hours. 1 minute is a good.
You get everything out. And done with
then you just keep toting, and every minute you just trade back something somebody's faces. Better get over that stage and you move on, because if you don't do that, it's not moving on. It's stuck in
I'm
around.
sure, for me, if that was happening to me, right, obviously I would be upset. I think, my opinion, maybe 70% of men like women with long hair.
Yeah.
But I would rather have my wife and me and her at least talking and in love with the short hair than I vex and she vex.
Yes, correct.
And
correct. And in marriage, that is what you just said is what it comes down to. Now you make a choice to love in spite of love, for love's sake, because you're in the house together, be husband and wife. And so, yes, I may not like this, you may not like that, but you can't dwell on those things. That you can't make that the
issue.
It's a big issue and carry it on, because, as you say, I prefer to just sit down, give a rock back. I know your hair short like mine. I'm not going to pass my fingers through again, but I love you still. You know?
And that's something I realized in seeing, because generally people think marriage is like a fairy tale.
No.
But actually, part of love is actually choosing to love sometimes in spite of your feelings and
feeling to love.
you put aside those things because I value you. You know? So love is more than just...
I mean, me, I say my little 2 cents, men kind of real shallow, I always say that when it comes to the outward, that your wife cut your hair and that's like the end of the world. To me, that's like, I know women, it's hard for us to understand because we're not on that kind of outward kind of vibe so much, right?
Yeah, we're not
right?
I bet
right? No, but she don't quarrel.
I just
she good, she normal.
He has it on for
and
how
long? She normal, right?
She cut off
but
the
what
hair,
I'm saying is, as a woman though, I could see how, let's say a woman make an adjustment, on the outward and the man make a big deal of it. You think, well, wait is, yes, the man had to be attracted to the woman. But there's so much more, you are more than how you look now. So you think to yourself, oh gosh, so what happened if
get over it now, let's move on.
What if I get sick and I start to look
right,
like a prune?
Let's not think so deep now.
Why we can't think so deep?
Let's not go down that road.
What is this?
Right, but anyhow, here's my question.
What if I put on 100 pounds?
Let's go back to the bigger picture here, right?
All right.
Pay for some membership. But what do you think? What do you think that is? Do you think that God created, like, all right, we know that God created submission in like the area of a woman, but what was his intent? What was the purpose?
For marriage, you mean?
No, in the area of like a woman submitting. What do you think is God's purpose and all of that? That that a woman should be able to, The first thing first, do you think that there is a design in marriage? And that
of course, well, I started off by saying
what would you say is the order? If you had to say this is the authority thing.
God, man, woman.
All right, so why God did that? Why do I think God had a purpose in doing that?
To show us, I guess, the divine order, even in our relationship with Him. And actually, the Bible likens marriage to our relationship with Christ and how Christ loves the church. And I think marriage is, one of God's intent in marriage was for us to reproduce, to for him to have more people to get saved and love more people. But I think also for us to experience love and to get an idea of how God loves us, and to experience love in a deeper way than just a filiosis friendship, to experience love more than that, to have that intimacy, to become one with somebody, and it's a great example of oneness with God. So I think partially that was God's thinking, for us to have that amongst ourselves, that you could actually become one with somebody, which the Bible says, ladies, I know you're fighting it, but the Bible says the two shall become one body.
I think amazing part of marriage, something that I look forward to, is like how God make man in his image.
Yeah.
And a husband and a wife, they have a child, and you look
And
at the child
come out in your image.
with your image and,
Yeah.
and the emotions you feel. Like anytime you look at this child, you actually see yourself.
Yeah.
And that's how God is
God
look at it. You
feels,
get
yeah.
to experience
How
the
God loves
dynamics
us.
of God and the relationship, how he might feel towards us, even in a more intimate way than if you probably never had a child
Listen,
of your
when
own.
you have a child, when you have that experience, that kind of love, I mean, you love your husband, yes, right? But watching this child that come out of you and you actually seen, as you say,
Yeah.
the child face on you, and
Yeah.
it's a different kind of love. You know what I mean? It's
And
a
if you
bond.
could love your child like that,
Right.
you tell me you could love your child more than God love you.
That's actually how I was able to overcome fear at times with my daughter, raising her. Because there's so many things they're frightened of, especially when she went to school the first time. Man, I don't think I relaxed for that day. My brain was just on what she's doing and stuff. And I mean, to a point, I could have been a little bit overwhelmed, and God actually said to me, you feel as your parents good, how good parents they were that kept you, that made you. He was like, no, I was with you now. It wasn't only up to them, it was only up to them. So much could have happened, so much accidents. And God was like, no, Kristen is not only in your care. I am with her. I have angels with her and stuff. And he, and that's just knowing how much God loves me and how much I love her, knowing that God loves her more than I love her. I was like, okay, God. So it helped me to relax and know that, she is okay, because God have her back. It's not me,
Yeah, I just find it interesting in God that when he created, because this is not necessary, this is not a fall thing, right? This is when God created Adam and Eve, he gave that authority to man that he would be the head, and vice versa, the woman is a helpmeet, right? In that context, right? Now, it's interesting that God did that, and it would seem like man have such a responsibility. When I mean man, I mean like man and female. That man have they have such a responsibility that men have a lot of things to answer for. A lot of things going on in the world, you would see is men causing it. Yeah, but also we have a great responsibility to act, and we are like almost like a representation of like Christ on the earth, which means that we have this authority that God gave us, and we actually had to demonstrate using it for love, right? Obviously, right? But it would seem like in marriage that God gave us the head, and we have things to answer for. And I think for a wife that should be like a piece that, this man, what I mean? No, obviously all of us have to give account on our own life.
For our own life,
So like I'll give you an example, right? There are a lot of women who find it hard to submit to a husband, or they say, nah, we submit to a man, and they have all these weird theories, right? Like some men say only if he love the Lord and he led by God and all these things, but really that is the opposite of what the Bible is saying, right? The Bible says even if the man is an unbeliever, you have to submit him in certain ways. We're not saying, obviously the Bible is clear when they talk about, obviously we're not saying go and fall bow down to some statue, and that's not what the Bible is saying. We're talking about in everyday life. There are certain things, when they show the inward character of who you are, it will win them over. So even if the lady was listening, I encourage you that, maybe to have, to do
one with the atheist husband.
Yeah, to maybe do some introspection into your own life, or maybe how you relate to him. And I'm not saying I can't be the answer for that, Rob. I know God would want something different, and he have an answer. You know what I mean? And he have a way he want to do things, right? But I find it just, I find for a man by Mark, right, that's like a big responsibility, and you could understand when Paul says stay single.
But I just want to say though, like for the women and men are equal to God. We both created in God's image, man and woman. But actually, you don't remain submitted to the man forever. When we leave this earth and we go to heaven, we neither male nor female. We all would now be married to Christ. So it's actually a temporary.
That's why I said if you submit to, you're born a female, you're born a woman. Submit to it on the earth.
But I believe though, God will reward you for how you. Likewise, God will reward the man and woman.
Everything.
For the way that you would have,
how you vice versa, how you love your wife, and how you.
But the lady with the husband who is, you said he's to the point of being an atheist. The scripture that we read when we started, I don't know if you were listening at that time,
That's First Peter.
where we said that not to try to win him over. What you might want to try to do is win him over by ministering to him constantly, sharing the word constantly, telling him what he's doing wrong constantly. The Bible actually says, don't win him with words, not with words. So, and I remember giving a lady that advice recently. I was like, it will become badgering and nagging after a while.
Yeah.
If you want to win him over, you win him over by your behavior, by your purity, by your love, by your kindness. Serve him.
I know we like you're saying, like how men like trivial and he out of their parents, right? But I think outside of like your beauty, like outward, a man don't already choose that. He find it nice, he find it nice, right? But at the end result of the Bible actually explaining that is the inward beauty is what will actually captive that keeping him.
Yes.
Like keeping him marriage. Not necessarily outward beauty, you know, is that your inward beauty is what gonna actually so the way the Bible is saying is actually to show that inward beauty that there's actually much more than your face.
Yeah.
And your even
and
your
short
opinion.
hair.
And your short hair, but it's your inward beauty that you're carrying and I think for honestly in a like from a relationship, do you think that those just score a little more points? Yeah. That when the person being a little more kind, a little more, and showing you a little more love and a little more go out of the way. Vice versa, it's the opposite way also for a woman, right? That for the same way a woman actually feel more, a little more caring. Now, because I be honest, naturally it's be a little nagging if somebody just keep bringing up something about you, especially if you don't see it as a problem.
Right.
And you try to talk to unbeliever about the mysteries of God, about why it,
Yeah,
and you just telling them about what to change and what, and the
Yeah.
person like, come now man,
It's
because
just
really
being
and
a nag,
truly, I tell you for me before as a believer, I could have seen that be annoying me people time. Stop watch porn, stop do this, stop do that. I'm trying to change me and I trying to get it sorted in my life.
Yeah.
And I trying to stop in the back and stop Mark.
Yeah.
So you realize I have a bigger issue at hand.
Yeah.
And the Bible is saying love is one of the things that actually break off things off of people's life and bondages.
And you know
where-
what's serious too?
Yeah.
Atheists not reading no Bible. You are
Yes.
the onlyest
You
message.
are the only, yeah.
You are the gospel.
Trying to preach the Bible to him
Oh boy.
is not necessarily the wise thing to do because
Yeah.
he already do believe.
But the
so
Bible trying to tell you that the encounter with the Bible is actually a life.
It's you.
It's
Your
actually
life.
yourself. That's actually the biggest encounter we could give anybody. But let me hear what is going on online there. Let me wrap up there, Eva.
Right. Let me say goodnight to Valina. Valina, it's been so long since I've seen you here. When I saw your name pop up, I was so happy to see your name there. So a special goodnight to you. I hope we get to see you soon. Let me say goodnight to Shermaine Howe. Dawn Francis says, true, Marknet. That's why one has to be very careful about whom one chooses to marry. Shermaine Howe says being submissive is a choice. Kerwin says woman, not on the outward vibes, right? This was what Nix was saying earlier. Let me see. It's Kerwin. Cynthia Silly, marriage is two people corresponding with each other in a godly manner. Shermaine Howe, only when women put that independent spirit aside and seek the knowledge of why the man is the head of the woman, only then we will have a balance in the managing of the home and marriage. Let me see. Shermaine also added, the natural nature of a man will attract him to that submissive woman in his life. For example, a man's wife may not be submissive, but his secretary at work will be submissive. And that's how we have had so many extramarital affairs. Wow. Look at that. Cynthia Silly, women whose husbands is not Christian should try to win them over with love. Right? Yeah, this is actually what Meeks was saying a little while ago. And now for my final giveaway. Brandon Smith, congratulations to you. I think this was the first time I actually saw your name there. So congratulations to you. If you are viewing for the first time, welcome. And you are the winner of our memory card, sponsored by Mega Mark Computer Services. Guys, you can check them out for all of your computer servicing needs, hardware installation, data recovery, virus removal, even virus prevention. Anything you can think of, just give him a call, all right? His number is 733-6157 or 330-8791. Let me just scroll down quickly to see if I have any comments. Kerwin says, this is why the Bible says you may marry, but only in the Lord. All right, thanks so much, guys, for all of your comments. I know Kyle, we're going to go back to Kyle and wrap up, but for me, this will be a wrap. Thanks so much for your comments. Thanks for being part of the show. Thanks for making the show awesome, because without y'all, I wouldn't have anything to do here right now, you know? So thanks so much for giving me a purpose here, yeah, guys? All right. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I hope you ladies really take away something from the show. It definitely blessed my life. I could safely say I could understand how submission could be a hard thing, but I could also see how when you truly love someone and you see the way the person loves you, because even just now when I was hearing Mark say what he had to say, I was thinking, let me give myself a little pat on the back here. I chose a good one, you know. So it's really it really boils down to who you choose, guys. So just make sure when you get asked that question and you're saying yes, or maybe, or even before that, don't reach that point where you're now saying, good, is this should I really say yes to this man, you know? Really seek the Lord when you're courting. And the same for men as well, because you don't want to be in a relationship, you don't want to be in a marriage where it's a battle and it's a fight. That's not what marriage is meant to be now. So my phone is recording what I'm saying. That's so crazy. Yes, so really be led by the Holy Spirit, guys, and that it will really bless your marriage. I mean, we could see here, we could see Cindy, we can see Onika is saying the same thing. And it makes me look forward to marriage. It makes me, and knowing Mark and the person that he is, it makes me look forward to being led by him, actually, and submitting to him. So marriage is a beautiful thing. So let's not make marriage seem like, okay, exactly what Kieran said, I'm under slavery, yeah? So let me shut up now and let me go back to Kyle. Thanks again, guys, for being part of the show. We will see you all the following Saturday. And guys, we are on number 12 Anna Street. If ever you feel like you want to come down and be part of the studio audience, feel free to do so. And our shows are always saved on our page. You can go back and look at it, and you can still share it to anyone, all of your friends. Be sure to share it, all right? And remember to click on that little notification, so every time we go live, you can be here with us, because we want to talk to y'all live, all right? But you can still watch it after anyway. So we're going to go back to Kyle now. Good night from me. That's a wrap from me. Good night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Hey,
Kyle.
awesome stuff, guys. Now, I think Onika want to read something, but I'll just say this because I want, maybe you could give your 2 cents, and I want Ava to 3 in 1 too, right? What you all think is so while I know you want to read something, what you all think is maybe some good advice for maybe but within our perspective, maybe women could, to help women too, right? But we think it's a good way that a man should look for in a woman if she's not submissive.
You mean if they're caught in
if they're caught in
signs
signs like
submissive.
maybe 5, so maybe everybody could give 1. Right? Like maybe what you think is, you know, that maybe this woman not really, I don't think that's going to work out, you know, too good. So maybe you could read first what it is you want to read and give people a little time, right?
To think, okay.
Yeah.
So this is a definition of submission. Submission is an inner quality of gentleness that affirms the leadership of the husband. Being submissive to your husband means that a wife willingly submits to her husband's authority and leadership in marriage. It means making a choice to affirm her husband as leader within the obedience, it means making a choice to affirm her husband as leader within the limits of obedience to Christ, which means, we said, obviously, if the person asking you to do something that is ungodly or that might put your family in harm or something, you don't have to submit to that.
Mm-hmm.
But submission, I always thought before that submission was a thing you do rather than who you are.
Right.
And I think God was trying to show women in the Bible that their very nature is to be submissive, to have that gentle, quiet, peaceable, peaceable demeanor, and and where in that way you honor your husband's authority and you uphold his leadership, that kind of thing. So it's more who you are so much than trying to become a submissive person, kind of thing.
Right.
So that's something you should actually have in your singleness, as the person said. You should already have that kind of spirit as a woman, then. So it becomes, you don't have to try, you know. Shouldn't have to.
I think for me, I just gonna start off one time. I would say, I think there's something we talked about before. I think if a woman really can't take advice from you, I think that's one sign that maybe you should I mean, obviously, if it is you believe it's good, I'll be talking about in Christ here, right? That she can't take advice from me. I think that is a sign I should really wonder what it is. Especially if I like for like 2 years or something, and you realize anytime I ever tell this girl something, she never, she do she own thing right through. I think that is something I really had to
That
take in
is a big
consideration.
sign, fellas. If
that
you can't
a
give
watchman-
advice,
Yeah. I just been on it. That one thing. I know maybe something else.
I would say if the woman is disrespectful, dishonoring, disrespectful to you,
like not like hanging up your phone and joking.
yeah, in private or in public, you know, if the woman is disrespectful and doesn't respect you as a man and talk down to you, then you know.
Yeah, because as a man, you know that you can get an argument and the woman not necessarily trying to bring it down. But you know when you get an argument and a woman telling you all kind of nasty things, you know that.
Or even her tone too. And the things that will come out in the conversation too. Once a woman makes the statement, but you can't tell me what to do in your courtship, right? Right? No, there's a fine line. Because you might say, well, okay, I courting, I have to submit and I'm courting too. But if that statement comes up, you will get that in your marriage too, but you can't tell me what to do. Trust me. Trust me, you know. So if the person's attitude, the demeanor, they're abusive, they're loud, they're rowdy with you, and it don't matter.
Yeah.
Bad sign.
What do you think, Cindy?
Yeah, I think how a woman in courting just treats you disrespectful in front of people, even don't value you as a person as well, and it's always about me. You see it have a lot of women, and I mean, I will say it, spoiled, right? I probably was one of those, you know, earlier. But it have spoiled women, and everything must be about them.
Yes.
So when you see those red flags, you need to deal with it early.
High maintenance, you mean? That we call that in now, the high maintenance.
And everything is about them. It's not about both of us courting, trying to reach to that place of marriage.
What do you think, Mark?
For me, I look at if a woman has a heart to like be a disciple of Jesus, to serve God if that is one of her desires, to not just, okay, I know God, but you actually want to give back, you want to be used by God.
Yeah.
To me, that is something that would indicate that person could be submissive, because just to be a disciple of God, you lay down your life, you lay down your will, you're willing to lay aside your desires. To
take submission.
Yeah, so I think if somebody have that heart, willing to serve the Lord, that is somebody who would be a good
willing to serve you.
Somebody who would be willing to labor alongside you, somebody who have issues with you wanting to live your life for God and things, because I think that could be horrible, that you want to do ministry, you want to do what God called you to do, but that person not really of the same line that you want to go, you want to be equally yoked.
You could be a believer and equally yoked.
That's a serious one.
Anything you want to add there, Eva? What do you think?
I think you all more or less covered the things that I thought of, but I would definitely say in courtship, you get to know, I mean, people say you never know somebody until you actually marry them and you live with them, but let me really get to know the person to some extent. And of course, you could just simply observe the person's personality. I mean, the way they will treat other people, or the way they treat other men, maybe their father, the way they speak to their father,
or their mother.
You could see the way they honor the other peoples and the other people in their life, and you will see for yourself that, okay, how is she going to treat me? You will be able to, it gives you like a guide and like a gauge, I guess you could say. So this is who this person is. And I mean, at the same time, Cindy spoke a lot about dress, and that is a big one for a lot of women. I mean, I and all had things. I think I mentioned it for my sister's wedding when I wanted to wear a certain dress. Mark didn't like it. That's so weird. But that's not, I'm not, that's not a good thing, right?
Mark,
so that's
a good sign, Mark.
So you see, so at the same time, let's not be too quick to, to throw someone aside. Because of course you will, people grow. I could definitely say throughout my relationship with Mark, I personally, I will speak for myself, and I definitely grew, and that was through the help of the Lord, because God will reveal things to me. So definitely, I would say, look at the person's personality, the way they treat other people, even the way they treat you, obviously. I mean, that's like a no-brainer, the way they will treat you, and you could ask God. God will reveal certain things to you. I mean, like, hello.
I guess the point she's making is like with the advice one. Because, not because I like a guy, I give somebody advice. They don't necessarily take it. But when I see when the
Yeah.
consequences come of what you didn't listen to, is if you're willing to change. Then I guess I say give people time and you
She
realize.
didn't take my advice.
Yeah, you
I say,
realize.
okay.
You realize what the end result will be, you know. So we want to thank Cindy for coming on, and I guess we want to thank Chris for being here because you know, a lot of his information was sold out. Yeah. No, I'll be honest. So that's for this. I mean, we closing now. This is a strange thing, right? Because I mean, we want to really thank you for coming, Cindy, because this is not easy thing for a woman to come out and share that they're not submissive and or the issues they had, and because I don't know if it's what was that kind of a shame. Even though they want their own way, they know it's a shame, you know. Even though you used to bring something, they say, nah, I don't like to do. Even though they know they're not supposed to be doing it.
Yeah.
So to bring somebody in the show, it was like a kind of tricky thing because not all women, even though they like to be their own way, they really and truly, when it comes to the law, they know sometimes they're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And to be open about it is not an easy thing.
Yeah.
You know, so we want to thank you for being a little vulnerable and sharing, you know.
Problem.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to add that I didn't say is that one of the things that Chris did to me a lot when we were courting is that he tested me. So I'm just giving y'all who are not married. He tested me a lot. Sometimes he say he come in 7 o'clock, but he'll show up late just to see how I'd react. He would come up, he would do things just to test me, just to see how I react to certain things. So I don't know, I'm just giving you all a little.
Well, too late for that.
We tell Mark that phone. Don't bring Mark in.
But too late.
I just test people. I just test people.
Yeah.
You test everybody.
But how I just test people?
Man, woman, child. Kind of test.
I just be myself. That's how I test
So
you.
are you saying you are a test naturally?
Yeah, but
That is what
no, I'll be honest. I think sometimes in a relationship, people they just try to put on a mask for themselves, and when they get married, it's like really and truly it's a different person. Sometimes I just, for me personally, I try to be myself. I mean, obviously, I'll be myself a little transparent, willing to change if it is, you know. But you know,
But if
I
you
can't
being
hide.
yourself and she accepts you, she passed the test, and that's rough. That means she loves you. That means she loves you. Serious. They get you.
Oh, they kick this thing off. Hey, well, have a good night. We out in Jesus' name. We'll have a blessed night.
Thank you so much for being part of the show. I hope you really enjoyed it. You can go on over to our YouTube channel and click subscribe. You can also click on that bell at the bottom and you'll be able to get live notifications. For our Facebook viewers, remember to like, comment, and share, guys. Thank you so much for being part of the show. And if you'd like to come on down and be part of our live audience, we are located at number 12 Anna Street, Woodbrook. Have a great night. Thank you for being part of the show. Good night.